Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And I thought today I'd talk to you a little bit more about accessories that I purchased for my DJI Osmo Pocket 4P. Now, yes, I've done a kind of a comparison of the Luna Ultra and the DJI Osmo Pocket 4P. And before I go into the accessories, I just wanted to, I guess, say what my thoughts are between the two products. Um, I returned the Luna Ultra mainly and possibly only because I'm deep into the DJI ecosystem. And so it just made practical sense for me to actually go with a DJI. In terms of the quality of both cameras, you really can't go wrong with either of them. I will say though that for a first gen product, the Luna Ultra was very well thought out. It was very innovative. It really gave DJI a run for its money. And I hope that with the introduction of a competitor in the Pocket Camera Gimbal series, that DJI would, think a little bit outside of the box and be a little bit more adventurous and innovative with their product, like the Luna was or is. Okay. The 4P is not a bad product, to be honest with you. I know there were people who are complaining about the jiggly bits, but once the gimbal is on, it works fine. It is a little bit annoying and a little bit worrisome that it does that, but I've found no problem with the operation of the gimbal once you've turned it on. But yeah, I think the reception for the Pocket 4 was very lukewarm because, to be honest with you, it was a very minor update, which is also part of the reason I returned the Pocket 4. Because when they announced the 4P, I was like, now that is an upgrade. The 4 was more of like a 3S or a 3.5, to be honest. Okay, now that I've gotten that out of the way, I want to talk about the accessories that I have for the 4P. Now, I already mentioned before that I have the battery handle. This is not a DJI product. This is a third party. It's by Star RC, or I think it's supposed to be Star Trek without the A. I'm gonna see if this is still available on Amazon, and I'll put the link down below in the description box. But there's plenty of other ones. I think Telescene also makes a pretty good one. Though this isn't just for the pocket cameras. You can actually use this to charge other items. But I will warn you that these prongs here on the side, the ones that attach to the camera, might hinder. So I actually have a little adapter that goes onto that USB-C in the center to extend that so that there is no blockage. The other thing that I have on here, you will notice, is a Ulanzi little mini tripod thing that actually came with this. So this is the PK11 by Ulanzi, right? This was attached to this tripod leg. And what it does is when you put it down, it automatically opens up like that. Obviously, my hand is not a flat surface, but if you're putting it down on a flat surface, it'll just open like that. So you've got a pretty good mini tripod that you don't really have to take off of the camera. Yeah, so I have that on the battery handle so that when I use it with my Pocket 4P, it not only serves as a charger, but also as an extension so that I can easily use the camera and have a little bit of an extension handle. Then I can put it a little bit away from me, and then that gives me a bit of a wider field of view. All right. And then when I'm not using it and I want to put it down on a table, not lying down, I want it to stand up, then that becomes the legs there. Okay. And it's pretty stable. The other thing that I have in terms of like an extension, so I've got this the smaller handle here. that you can see. That did come with the Pocket 4P, but what it didn't come with is this little magnetic tripod. Now this is pretty cool. I really like this, and I'm glad that I bought it. They are cheaper now, if I'm not mistaken, but this actually has a hinge here, so you can, right? But you can also, right? Okay, and you can also split those two, and that becomes tripod legs, right? You can, that can be, there we go. Yeah, you can, yep, undo that like that. And there's a little bit of extra on this main wider leg here, which is this little number there. You can use to hook this. And what that typically would look like is, so you'll have this hooked against maybe a fence or anywhere that could really be hooked up there. And then your camera could be hanging here, right? I really like that. Not only does it serve as like an extension to hold your camera a little bit further away from you, but it's a mini tripod, it's a mini hook, and all you got to do is put that little smaller handle on there, and it becomes an easy, quick release, right? That's it. Now, the most recent arrival is this. So I got a case. This is by the company Sunny Life. I bought it from Amazon. It took a while to get here. I think I have had the Pocket 4P for over a week before I received this, and I ordered it the same time that I ordered the Pocket 4P. But anyways, this is also a quick release. So you know how the Luna Ultra had a quick release case? Well, this is kind of similar to that. If you have a look at that, there's two sort of like side buttons here that you can press, and then that opens up the thing, and voila. Now, there is no like spring action when you do that, so you still have to kind of remove it with manual force because there is no spring on the hinges. But that's fine. And it's not the cheap kind of plastic. It is actually very solid. The only thing is, obviously, the Luna Ultra, when it gets shipped, if you've got the vlog combo, it comes with the wide angle. And there is a space on its case to put the wide angle lens. There is no space in this case from Sunny Life to put any of your filters. Now, speaking of filters, I did order the Freewell, what's it called? Bright Day? No, Everyday filter set. It comes with 4 filters, but it hasn't arrived. It's taking forever. But once I have that, I will talk about that on a separate video because I want to show what each of the filter does. So I think it comes with a light pollution filter, there is a glow mist filter, there is a CPL, and there is an ND1000 filter in that combo. So once those filters arrive, I will talk about them separately and I will show you what each of them do, okay? I almost forgot to show you that once I have the case on, I can still use the battery handle, the shorter handle with the magnet. Oh, did I mention that this part here is full magnet? Right, that's what I like about it. And I can fold it like that and carry around like this. And it's, I would say it's the same bulkiness as the Luna Ultra with the case on. So not bad at all, okay? Well, so this is my new setup for my Pocket 4P. So favorite accessories for the 4P is this case from Sunny Life. I'll put a link in on the Amazon storefront if it's still available. I think it also comes in different colors. Like I know there's at least an orange one. I prefer this one because there was one, and I'll show you. Because you know how I ordered the 4P, right? And then I returned it. There's one that is kind of like this. It covers the whole camera, but it's not quick release. You need to open it with this thingamajig here. Not the easiest one, but it has like, oh sorry, the Sunny Life one also came with a wrist strap, but I'm not going to use that. I already have a wrist strap on the camera that came with the DJI one. But yeah, so this one here, I know that there is a version of this for the 4P on Amazon. And what it also has is a space for the filters here. So this is for the 4P or for your Pocket 3 if you have a Pocket 3. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to use this because the 4P is not going to... I keep saying 4P. This is for the 4 or the 3. Okay? This is for the 4 or the 3. But obviously, this doesn't fit the 4P, so I don't have a use for this. It's brand new. I haven't really used it. But yeah, there is a version of this that is specifically for the 4P where this head part here is a little bit wider. But I didn't want to get that because with that, you can only have the camera and the shorter handle here. But that means that I have to then unscrew this from the shorter handle for me to be able to put it into the case. And I don't want to do that. I want it to remain as a quick release for this particular mini tripod. And obviously I can't put the battery handle on there because it's not going to fit, okay? So that's why I opted for one that only covered the screen and the gimbal head for protection. Because honestly, I am a believer of the sturdiness of DJI products, but when you have a gimbal and it has no protection whatsoever, and you just give me a freaking soft pouch for it, what are you even doing? Like, I'm putting this in my pocket without a gimbal protection. What? So yeah, so I got this. It protects the whole head of the gimbal. It protects the screen. I still have access to the bottom of the camera, and it's pretty good and still remains quite small, right? So I'm happy with that. Battery handle. This again is from StarChat. It has 4,000 milliamperes. And inputs 5 volts onto the camera. It's actually pretty good, and I can charge the battery twice, the battery of the Pocket 4P twice before this drains. So that's pretty good. And then again, this is the Ulanzi MA66D08, right? And then the tripod leg came from the Ulanzi PK11. I'm going to link all of that in the description box down below just in case you were interested in that. They are probably going to be Amazon affiliate links. Up to you if you want to use that or you just want to search them on Amazon. That's entirely up to you. There is no additional charge to you if you do use my link, but I do get a teeny tiny commission. I haven't really sold anything on Amazon, let's be honest. Anyway, so yeah, those are the accessories. And once I get the filters from Freewell, I am going to do a separate video on those. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.